How much do you love my feet?
I love your feet so much. Absolutely love them, crave them.
Bark for me. Do it again. You look thirsty. Take a drink of water.
Thank you.
How does it taste?
It's amazing.
No way. No! Yo! Now, as y'all just seen, we're seeing a rise in cucks. We're seeing a rise in men who have no problem submitting to women, right? This is the future, just so y'all know. This is the future. As men continue to lose testosterone, as men continue to lose their masculinity, as young boys as well continue to be confused on what masculinity actually is, this is what we're going to continue to see, right? As men become more feminine, right? As men become more feminine and as women become more masculine, this is what we're going to continue to see. And also, this is also a fetish as well for a lot of men. See, we're seeing a lot of things that used to just be in the dark come to the light, right? So stuff like this, I'm not, a stranger to. Not saying that I be licking shoes and barking and all kinds of crazy stuff for women. Nah, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I've been aware of these kind of things. I've been aware of, dominatrix and, financial domination and things of that nature, right? This is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. Welcome to the new world, gentlemen. Are you guys still paying attention? Are you guys woken up yet? This is the future. Now, I keep telling y'all, uh, masculinity is not winning per se, right? I truly believe that those days may be over with, right? I believe the foundational traditional masculinity, I I truly believe that is something of the past. That is something of the past. And as you can see, right, uh, one of the main reasons why a lot of guys are turning to extremism, the reason why a lot of guys are turning to uh, incels, right? The reason why a lot of guys are quote unquote voluntary celibates or what have you. The reason why is because masculinity is no longer the same, right? A lot of these guys, right, they tried approaching, right? They tried approaching, they tried what the dating coaches told them, right? And approaching simply doesn't work, right? And I've spoken on that myself. Approaching doesn't work. Cold approaching doesn't work, especially if you're not that guy, right? Cold approaching is simply cold approaching. It's like trying to cold start a machine, cold start an engine, right? That engine is dead, right? That machine is dead. So you gotta spark it, you gotta spark something up in it. You gotta spark it back to life, right? And a lot of guys, they're approaching cold approaching women who are not showing them no choosing signals, who are not showing them any flirty eyes, who are not giving them any kind of, go ahead or green light. And the truth be told, right? Especially with social media, a lot of guys don't get choosing signals because they're not him, right? A lot of guys are, we already know, average in looks, average in height, average in money, right? So if you're not pulling up in a nice whip, she's not going to give you choosing signals because she don't see you worthy of being with her or taking her out or, using and abusing her body, right? If you're not tall or handsome, right? Because you can be tall and ugly, right? If you're not that, then, she's not giving you choosing signals because she doesn't see you as a authority figure, right? The reason why, it goes back to biology, the reason why women choose fit bodies, strong bodies, and tall men is because they look at those men as protectors, right? They look at those men as men that can dominate them, right? Women like to be dominated. Women like to be, all of the above, right? They like to be spanked, they like to be whooped, they like to be all of those things, right? So if you're not displaying certain traits that she feel like that you can overwhelm her, right? Literally and figuratively, she don't want anything to do with you. So a lot of men are seeing that, hey, right? Especially a lot of the black pill guys, hey, cold approaching isn't working, right? These women are not really like, listen, they've heard everything up under the sun. They've heard all the game, they've heard all the lines, right? You Googled and chat GBT, what are some lines that I can say to a pretty girl? Right? Tell her how good her hair look, tell her how good her eyes look. Tell her how, you would like to take her out and court her and all this stuff. Listen, man, that shit don't work no more. Right? They've heard all the lines. You know how many lines they get in their DMs? Do you know how many lines they get? And I'm just giving y'all, I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm just giving y'all the supporting details to how we got here and where we are now, right? So they've heard all of that. They've heard that in the DMs. They've heard that, they hear that every day. A lot of these chicks, I showed y'all one video where a chick went off on a dude because he approached her in the middle of her studying or whatever. And she was like, she was like, you know how many times I get approached a day? You know how many times I've heard that? Listen, by the time a chick is 20, 21, they've heard every line in the book. When they're in their prime, they've heard it. They've heard it all. They've heard everything you're going to say. They've heard it all. They've been offered money. They've been offered trips. They've been offered everything up under the sun. They already know the game already. They know the game before men figure out the game, right? They figure out the money game before y'all figure it out. Like men figure it out all late, right? Men figure out that, oh, these chicks are getting paid. These chicks are being offered trips to Barbados and Puerto Rico and to Spain and Italy. Like, y'all figure that shit out late. They've been hopping on planes, right? Especially your favorite waitress, your favorite server, right? Your favorite Hooters girl, your favorite Twin Peaks girl, your favorite Ojos Locos girl. They've been on these planes. They've been flown out, right? They've been on the shopping sprees, right? And their body been used and abused and discarded until the next guy pick them up. So y'all got to realize a lot of guys, they don't know where to turn, right? A lot of guys don't know where to turn, and masculinity, just true masculinity, like what Red Pill has been preaching, 90% of that does not work for most men, right? And the reason why that don't work for most men, and this is the truth, is because a lot of men, first and foremost, they don't put the work in that they're supposed to put in, right? You can't be all talking all macho and everything when you looking like a fat sloppalophagus, right? It don't work like that. When a woman sees a fit body, yes, some may be intimidated. Some may not approach you because they feel like you may be too much, right? Blow their back out, blow their spine out. And I've heard those things too. Like, women don't want to approach because they feel intimidated. Yeah, let them feel intimidated. You want a woman to feel intimidated by you in a good way, not a negative way, right? So a lot of y'all don't be having a body game together, right? You can't be quote unquote masculine and not have the body game together, right? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of overweight guys, right? Out of shape guys who do make a lot of money, right? But they're not the women don't choose them based on money, right? Sure, they can get their little, dig and stick wet, but they don't choose them strictly off of attraction alone, right? They choose them off of what their money and their finances can do for them. So yeah, you'll see a lot of old guys driving around Corvettes with a nice little blonde in the passenger seat, right? You'll see a lot of old guys, they own boats, and you'll see their boats filled up with young tenderonis, all different colors, all different, yeah. You'll see that. But that's because of the financial situation, not because those women are solely attracted to them, right? Or, that really gut attraction to them where like the panties just get wet by looking at you, right? So if you're not rich, you don't have the money together, You can't be trying to claim masculinity, especially if you look like a fat sloppy, right? So next, right? A lot of men are broke, right? That's just, that's the truth of the matter. A lot of men are broke, right? You can't possibly in this world or the next try to claim masculinity and your finances are not together, right? And I'm not just talking about just like you rich and you Jeff Bezos and you own a boat and all of that stuff, right? Let me turn this car on. I'm getting hot up in here because I'm cooking. But you can't claim masculinity or try to be masculine if you broke. There's too many guys that try to be masculine. Right? And I'm not saying that, because you're broke, you can't be a masculine man. What I am saying is society, the world, women, other men will not take a broke man serious, will not look at you as being tippity top masculine if you don't have your finances in order. How many women have we seen over and over again, even in real life, right? You can't do this for that. You can't do this for them. You can't take them to get their nails done, their toes done, their hair done, right? You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go on vacation, this, that, and the third, right? Try getting with a woman and you're broke, right? That woman may deal with you for a little bit because she was initially attracted to you, but try long term. Right? Or even try just on the flip side. A lot of women are looking for that money, right? A lot of these chicks who and I have some chicks who cold approach me. I'm not gonna lie. This has been recent though, and I don't know if times are getting desperate or what, but chicks who cold approach me. One of the first questions that they ask me, they may ask me starter questions or whatever, name and all that stuff and all that, and ask me what I do, and then they'll hit me with the how much money you make. Right? And, me knowing women, right, that's not always looked at as a negative to me, right? You got to think women are looking for security, right? They don't want to be dealing with a scrub. Listen, times are hard. Why would they get with a man who can't do nothing for them but pipe them down? And yeah, they will smash a guy and, let a man pipe him down. However, I think a lot of women are tightening up. A lot of women are tightening up, and a lot of women are saying, hey, we can't just be, giving our body to the bottom percentage of men. We gotta tighten up and, ask these men, how much money are they making? Because if I'm gonna be giving him the guts, I need to be getting something in return, at least for smart women. Right? So where am I going with this? A lot of women are figuring out, especially younger women, and a lot of them have been figured it out, but they're figuring out like, hey, we can't be dealing with these caliber of men, right? We can't be dealing with these caliber of men, right? And masculinity is tied to finances, whether y'all want to accept it or not, right? Whether y'all want to accept it or not, masculinity is tied to finances. So if you don't have your finances in order, society's going to treat you like nothing. They're going to treat you like lesser than. They're not going to treat you like a man, right? Society's not going to treat you like a man. Other men are not going to treat you like a man, right? And, other men may just show a mutual respect because you're a man, but overall, in general, like it's big bank take little bank out here, right? And then the women are not going to respect you because you don't have your finances in order. This is just, listen, I didn't make up the rules. This is what it's always been throughout history, right? The bottom men who can't produce, who can't create, who can't, pave a way for themselves, who can't make the money that they should be making to take care of a woman and or family, right? They're discarded and not respected, and your masculinity is not validated, right? And that's what we're seeing, right? So where am I going with this? So all it is, all the men are figuring all of this out, right? Right? Cold approaching, not working. I'm not making enough money, not working. I'm averaging looks, not working. I'm averaging height, not working. So what's the next thing? What's the next thing? The next thing is just to feminize yourself because that's all you got left to get the woman's attention, right? So the video is two sides to a coin. So You got guys who are rich who could care less about whether you call them, feminine, whether you call them a simp, whether you call them whatever you want to call them. They got the money, and these men, they pay to be basically castrated, right? They pay women to embarrass them, right? They get off on a woman getting a power trip over them, right? You have these men, right, who will pay top of the line dollar, right? You have women now who are basically showing other women how to make money off of financial domination, right? You have women making money off of, pegging men, pause, no diddy, right? You have, listen, it's crazy out here. Just to let y'all know, it's crazy out here. So the other side of the coin is, the poor simps, right? You have the poor simps, and you have the men who can't really qualify for these women either other way, or they can't qualify for these women in real life just off of their own self alone, right? So they go this way to get the validation and attention from the women that they do want. It's an ugly game. So to reel this all back in, men are giving up. How do we get here? How do we get here? Because you even have men with money who can't really, they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the looks, they're not charming, right? They don't have the social skills, things of that nature, which, cold approaching to a certain extent, it does make you brave. It does teach you social skills. It does teach you how to interact with women, but you can go to classes to learn how to interact with the general population. You can go to classes, like they have speaking classes, right? They have Toastmasters, right? They got Toastmasters to teach you how to speak to people, socialize with people. You go to socializing events, right? To learn how to speak to women. But, cold approaching, it does teach you some skills. But at the end of the day, if it's just a numbers game, right? If it just comes down to a numbers game, eventually, especially if you're not the top of the line guy, your ego and your self-esteem is going to eventually get shot, right? Y'all know how many times, like, let's use video games, for instance. How many times have you tried that mission, right? I remember in my younger days, when I really used to play video games, listen, I attempted a mission 5 to 10 times, 15 times. Eventually, you just threw the goddamn on remote control and call it a day. Turn the game up. You know how many times I ripped the cord out of the freaking PlayStation? You know how many times I ripped the cord out of the Xbox and threw my controller, broke my controller, had to buy another one, right? Because I got angry at the mission. There are some missions that I couldn't complete until like a month later. I swear to God, right? And I just gave up. My self-esteem was shot. Right? Sometimes I didn't pick up the game for weeks, right? And then imagine if, right, you still couldn't win, right? That's cold approaching. Eventually with the games, at least you can find like a cheat code or, some kind of, tutorial video to where you can find out how to beat the game. Life doesn't work that way. It works like that in some instances, but when it comes to women, right, the only cheat code there is the money. Right? And even if you have money, you may not have the charisma, you may not have the height, you may not have the looks. So you suffering in that aspect, and you can't change any one of those things. You can't change your digging stick size, right? You can't change any of those things. So you're stuck with what you have. There is no other cheat code for those things. That's a black pill. There is no cheat code for those things. So men are finally waking up, and not just waking up, but they're finally realizing, like, bro, the odds are stacked against us, right? And that's why I say simps are winning, right? You have men out here who are willing to do this. You have men out here who are willing to sacrifice their masculinity for women's validation, right? Whether they paying for it or whether they just being a straight up simp and just participating in a woman dominating them, whatever. But this is where we headed, right? We're not headed towards a stronger men. We're not headed that way, right? Men are more passive aggressive than ever. Men are weaker than ever. And I just talked about this in one of my previous videos, right? It's called gooning, right? A lot of men are gooning now, right? They're just allowing themselves to consume and consume explicit content, right? To the point where it puts them in a trance. They consume and consume it, right? And it gives them that sexual gratification without actually having to go out into the world and actually put the work in, right? Getting money is too hard for a lot of men now, right? I said this in a previous video or upcoming video. I forgot which one, but I said that now money is going to come harder and harder. You actually have to get out here and work for the money now, right? Now we're entering into a society that is about to weed out the weak. We're entering into a society it's about to weed out anybody who ever got it easy, anybody who don't want to compete. It's about to weed out everybody, right? This is the time period that we're entering. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of men, a lot of people say that, oh, women don't want to compete. Women don't want to get out here and be submissive and all that. Why? Do they really have to? Do they really have to compete when you got all of these dudes who are willing to simp and, send them money and do whatever? Like, do they really have to? Right? Men are the ones who need to, bring back testosterone and masculinity and put these chicks back in their place, but that's not going to happen. Right? We're going to continue to see this downward trend. We're going to continue to see men in a weaker and weaker position. Right? And the truth of the matter is, that's just where it's headed. Right? And it's just, man, there's so much I can say on this, but when we talk about even traditional masculine jobs, like those are going to be taken over soon by automation, AI, right? Soon enough, humanoids, androids. Right? Y'all keep thinking I remember I said this like a few months back. Everybody keeps saying, no, that's not happening anytime soon and all that. Bro, Tesla already have a prototype already. They already have this stuff in the works. They already have prototypes. They already got this stuff like, bro, it's in the works. Like this stuff is already in operation. This stuff is already out here. The information is out here already. Y'all keep thinking that this stuff is so far-fetched. Listen, this is not 1990. This is not 1980 where it took 20 years to figure out technology. No, technology has advanced so much that technology is now building technology. Do y'all not understand that? We've gotten to the point where technology is building technology. Humans are not at the forefront of this anymore. It's not just the humans building out machines, humans building out technology anymore. No, technology is now speeding up technology to speed up technology. Right? So these traditional jobs that made men feel masculine, that made men feel whole, those are becoming null and void now. Right? So this is what I mean when I say masculinity is no more. Right? Yeah, if you're here's the thing, like masculinity works in the favor masculinity works in the favor of the top 10 and top 20% of men. And when I say top 10 and 20%, I'm talking about height, money, looks, right? I'm talking about a variety of different things, not just finances, all the other aspects as well, right? It's not just the finances. Masculinity works for who women choose for it to work for, right? So if you're trying to be macho, right? You're trying to be masculine, you try to be the man when you're broke, it's not going to work, unfortunately, right? You're trying to be masculine and you short, in women's words, right? You're short. Nah, you can't be, because women will be quick to disrespect you if you're short, right? How many videos and tutorials have we seen where men get disrespected because they short, right? Even some of your favorite influencers, right? They're on the shorter end and they still get hold, right? They still get hold and disrespected. However, because they have status and looks and the finances in order, they got a piggy bag or a money bag, right? So that puts them up there to where women will deal with them because, yeah, they short, but then they look good, then they have status, and then they have their finances in order. So that works in their favor, right? But they'll still get disrespected because of the height. So imagine being on a lower totem pole of looks. Imagine being on a lower totem pole of finances, and then you're short, right? You'll still get disrespected. So you can't be. Society has made it to where this is just how it is. Society and women have made it to where, yeah, you can be a short king, but most women will still disrespect you. Yeah, some short kings can clean up, right? Yeah, but you got to realize what does that short king look like? Is he good looking and just short? Does he have money and also just short? Does he drive a clean whip and also just short? So there's a variety of different factors, but overall, most short kings get disrespected and overlooked just because of their shortness, right? Women don't count your masculinity, like in general, when you're short, right? And then if you're ugly, oh Lord, your masculinity is strong. Let you try to be all masculine and macho and try to put a chick in her place and you ugly, right? Women will be quick to show you the door. Women will be quick to put you in your place and disrespect you and tell you, no, you're not him. You're ugly. You're short. You're broke, right? So women actually choose who gets to be masculine. That's an after pill. Women choose who get to be masculine based on all of those aspects, based on all of those characteristics, based on all those economic factors, right? Or physical factors. They get to choose who gets to be masculine. And then that's according to, that's based on, individual chick, right? And maybe it's a chick who may be validating you. That may not be even a top of the line chick that you actually listen. There's so many different factors to it. But overall, this is where we're headed, right? We're headed into Simpville. We're headed into men not being masculine anymore, right? Because the majority of men, they can't be masculine, right? They have to lean into simping. They have to lean into, agreements with women, even if they don't truly agree. They have to lean into all of the things that are actually bad for men, right? This is bad for men, right? A man being in this kind of position, this compromising position, that's horrible. That is horrible for men. But that is where we're going. Because the honest to God truth, it's about to get harder and harder for men to get women. It's about to get harder and harder for men to make money, right? We're entering into a time period where you really have to compete for women. You really have to come with that money. You really have to come with the fitness. You really have to come with or else you're done. You're fried. You're invisible. And we're seeing that men will compromise themselves to not be invisible. And that's an after pill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.